So welcome to camping at Teddington Reservoir in the Kooyoora National Park, not that far south of St Arnaud. You'll have to excuse my throat at the moment, I'm just coming off a bit of some sort of cold thing, I don't know what it was. That's how dedicated I am to you. The road in was fine, no problems there. And this place is huge, it's pretty big. There's a lot of sites and there's toilets, no showers, a lot of fire pits. I think I found my site. The sun's going to set over there. So basically I'm looking where the shadows are going to be through the day. I don't really like camping that much in the warmer time of year for a few reasons. Flies for a start. I'm just going to set up my tent somewhere here in that flat spot there. Those trees are safe, so I'm not worried about them. I'll put a bit of a shade on the table so later on it's not going to blare in my face when I'm trying to eat. My tent's going to stay shady by the looks of it, and I've set up this little shady area just for the eskies. Make sure the sun keeps off it. It's about 2 o'clock now, so I'm just going to have a little look around and show you what's here. Tomorrow I'll go for a bit of a walk and show you some other things. It's a little bit barren, and well, when I say barren, I just mean the ground's, you know, that harsh, gravelly, stony ground, and occasionally one of my pegs would hit a rock. Some red ants here and there. Lots of birds everywhere. You can hear them, you can see them, and there's even camping sites close to the toilets as well if you need that security. There's paper, pretty clean. I see ya. Have a look at this. So I don't know how long I was talking for with the battery not working. Things like that give me the shit. So I don't know how much to repeat. Anyway, I'm walking down at the lower reservoir. There's 2 reservoirs here at Teddington, upper and lower. The upper's usually got water in it. The lower, I've never seen water in it, and I don't think there's been water here for a while. I was here in 2019 and 2021 and there was no water in it. But it's nice for a walk. Blue sky, right round. So apart from the flies buzzing around and a few birds, it's a pretty quiet place. If you just want to get away from people and the city and the hustle and bustle. So what's to do here in this national park? Well, there's a few 4-wheel drive tracks. People like coming here and driving around. Bushwalks. There's a hut. You got to book in advance for that, although I've never seen anyone in it. I'll have a look at that tomorrow. So you can bring your bike, you can ride, you can bushwalk, you can just enjoy the moment, read a book, play games with a friend if you got one. If you're by yourself, you can just read a book. If you got some movies downloaded or some podcasts, you can watch and listen to those, which I do sometimes. But sometimes I just listen to the peace and quiet. And that's your serenity. Some rusted up piece of shit. There's a story behind that. Could be a shit story, but there's a story. Oh, you can sit there and enjoy that, couldn't you? So what do you reckon this was? A pump house or something? Let's go up here. Right, end of walking track. So there's a track that way. Obviously I didn't go that way. I come up through the old reservoir. So there's more of a track that way. And there's probably a sluice gate or something up the top there. So hang on a second. That looks like it would spill that way. And then it goes down there. So have I got this the wrong way around? Was that the upper reservoir and the lower reservoir has got the water in it? I might be right, I might be wrong, I don't know. Anyway, the most northern one has got water in it. Look how bone dry that is. Although to be honest, that could have had water in it 2 weeks ago and still be bone drying today after a week of hot weather. Time for a bit of serenity. So I've decided to go back along that levee and actually walk around the eastern side, the track on the eastern side, and go to the other reservoir. Let's go up here. Oh, it's a bit steep. And this is another reason I do my exercise. For an older guy, I want to make sure that I'm fit enough just to do the things I want to do. I don't want to be a triathlete. I just want to be able to go for hikes and stuff when I go camping without exhausting myself or having some sort of injury. Right, so back to this spot. And we'll follow this path around to the northern reservoir. I might be doing the wrong thing here. When I stopped in with the car, there was no signage that sort of said that you had to keep out or anything. It was actually open. So you could drive down. You could drive right down to the water and you can walk as far as you want. Unless this happens to be private property on this side. That could be the case. That side of the fence actually was private property. There's a shed up there and an actual house up on the hill there. So don't walk that track. I didn't have permission to walk there, so I apologise to the owners. Once I realised my mistake, I removed myself from their property. So forgive me. But anyway, there is actually a little path. I'm on a track. It's obviously been driven, so I'm walking along that. And now I see some signs that say private keep out. Oops. Yeah, so don't do that. I'm not advocating trespassing. So here's the other reservoir. I'm on the eastern side of it, and as you can see, there's a fair bit of water in it. So I'm not sure why. Maybe this is just deeper. Maybe it's deeper, yeah. So it's retaining water, whereas the other side is not. I have actually fished here, believe it or not, but I didn't catch anything. I'm sure you believe that. There's obviously fish in there then. So I'm just not going to follow the reservoir around any further. I'm going to go up the hill a bit. This is the top end of the reservoir. And then we've got some sort of formation over here. So the water would flow down there. But what's this over here? Like a little secondary inlet or outlet, I don't know. Oh, and they're bracing the walls too. Look at the work. Looks like water must just come there, maybe coming down off the mountain there, and it just comes down and it just feeds into there and probably just drops away there. That's probably what that is. I hope you like these little walks I do in these camping videos. It's not just about camping, it's about what's in the area. So I like to show you the spots to camp at and what's there for you, but also what's around to do. I wonder when that last saw water flowing across there. There's bloody trees growing here and there. Do not enter. So we won't enter. At the top end of the reservoir, I'm getting 4G and what's that, 3 or 4 bars. But down the campground itself, I wasn't getting really any reception at all. So that's where you go back on the road and turn left to go to the campground. But if you take this track here, then this takes you down to the western side of that northern reservoir. It's a nice spot here. You come here, have a picnic. Do people still have picnics? I think they do. Seeing these big pine trees and stuff, the early pioneers, they used to want to make it like England. So they came in and put their pine trees here and there around reservoirs and stuff. And they would come out on a Sunday and have their picnics and their little get-togethers and things. Look at that, it's a beautiful spot just there. You have a nice family outing there. It's nice and cool though, under these pine trees. Probably another reason why they planted them. So there's some sort of path. Hopefully it gets me to where I want to go. We're on the other side of that spillway that we looked at earlier. Let's see if there's a path up here. I'm always amazed at how much effort they go to making these things. Look at all these big giant paving stones. Big slabs, eh? Just to make it nice and neat. That would have looked so nice when it was finished. Brilliant. I wonder when water last touched those signposts. There's the road in over there. So that's the number you ring, 131963 if you want to stay at Teddington Hut. Really fast sharks. If you're wondering about some of my gear, if you're interested, I've got a Black Wolf Tanamai 3V tent. It's a 3-manner and there's plenty of room. I like to have a 3-man version because it gives me plenty of room for my bed and moving around and to put my gear on the other side, and I can, you know, almost stand up in that. I definitely get up on my knees and get changed properly and without having an issue. And I like the vestibule here, so I can put my shoes or whatever. And I have this little mat because often I'm coming in like this, leaning to open the door, and you don't want a little stone or something underneath there to get into your knees. Yeah, so inside I'm sleeping on a June 4WD Premium Jumbo inflatable mattress. It's pretty good. I've got a Birkin Will sleeping bag. It's rated down to 0. I don't want it any less than that because I get pretty hot, really. Night light. My setup at night. Might have extra blankets if I need them during winter. Clothes. Portable potty during the night so I don't have to walk outside. I like having this yoga mat here because overnight or when I kneel like this, so if there is any stones or anything under there that my ground mat hasn't picked up, then I won't stick into my knees and cause myself an injury. I haven't got my trailer this time with me because I wasn't carrying as much stuff this time. Not carrying any firewood or anything this time. Not going to worry about a fire. So everything I needed I could fit in the back of the ute. I've had my little 3-burner cooktop for quite a few years now and it's fantastic. I give it a good clean every now and again. Sometimes when the flame starts not working too good, I go right in and clean out all the pipes and everything, blow it all out, and she's good as gold. The old kettle, whistling kettle, I've had that for years. She's a beauty. And I've got a few gas bottles. And I've got the extended lead gas lead. Otherwise, sometimes you got to have your gas bottle sitting up on the bench or on some sort of stool or something. I always have plenty of spare ropes and guy ropes and poles. I bought this big power, what do you call them, power banks? Power station from iTech World, and bought it because was running a CPAP machine at one stage. Got these little lights, you might have seen them on the trailer before. I think I talked about them in on the Lake Wurranook video. And of course you can charge everything. I'm charging a few things at the moment. Charging my little speaker and my video camera batteries. So if it's not drawing enough power to charge, say, just one phone, it shuts itself down. So what I do, I just turn the lights on minimum. That's enough to plug in other things and have them charge it. It's amazing how long it lasts. I've actually got a solar blanket, 200 watt solar blanket from iTech World as well. It was a bit of a deal for both items, so it's got that, what's it called? Crocodile skin? I forgot. Some sort of skin. Leopard skin, shark skin, something. I forget. Anyway, it's got that skin that apparently absorbs the light a bit better and is a bit more resistant to scratching and that, so. But I haven't had to use it once camping. I've tested it, it certainly works. But the power station, when I go away for 3 or 4 days, I'm always coming home with more than half of the power still in the station. And those lights, you can put them on full power and it just lasts for days on that power station. So just have Mieskis, of course. I've had them for years. They're probably not as efficient as the ones today. But in the cooler weather, 3 bags of ice, no worries, lasts all that time. I bought a bucket of water just in case I have a shower this time. And the pump on the shower just runs off the power station as well. So I've got one of those ensuite tent things. I have used it as a toilet tent. Dug a hole and used that and had the milk crate toilet over the top of that. I don't make it too complicated. I try to keep things as easy as I can. Some people go into all these gadgets and stuff, and that's fine. That's good for them. I find the more you have and the more you rely on, the more things can go wrong. So I just try to keep it simple. You know, if you look after your stuff, it'll look after you. And that tent's lasted me a long time. And I actually broke one of the poles not long ago, one of the bungee poles. But it was sort of my fault. There was a bit of a split in one of the metal ferrules, I think they're called, ferrules. There was a little bit of a split, and then I put a zip tie on it, and that seemed to work for a couple of years at least. And then it just started to come open a bit, and I did something silly and used a hammer to try to tap it back closed again. Of course, I actually wrecked the actual carbon rod. So for less than $20, I got a replacement kit and fixed it. I've got enough to fix another rod if I need to, and she's as good as gold. So I'm happy with that. I thought it was a safe time of night to cook dinner. I thought most of the flies had gone. It started to cool down a bit. I've just got a bit of fish and salad tonight. But as soon as my fish was cooked, they come boring in. So you got to be careful. Eat quick, but not that quick that you swallow a fly as well. Another morning begins. Beautiful morning. Not a cloud in the sky. The night was not cold, just on the verge of maybe considering another blanket. Pretty quiet night. Couple of possums making a little bit of noise. Couple of birds, but that's about it. Nothing else. There's a couple of kangaroos this morning just near the camp. And yeah, pretty comfortable sleep really. So just making breakfast, and I'll get ready for a bit of a walk today and see what else is around. Right, so this morning what I'm going to do is, now that I've finished all my morning rituals, said good morning to the birds in the toilet, they're doing all right. I'm going to go back to that sign where it said end of walking track. That was in between the 2 reservoirs on the eastern side. And I'm going to go to that point and then follow the track south and see where that goes. From there, I could probably continue on to the Teddington Hut that I was going to show you. It's a beautiful morning. There's a slight breeze. It'll probably increase later. So I'm just going to show you this southern reservoir. I like how a place can look different depending where the sun is. It just changes through the day. Just little things like that I like. You got to find the beauty wherever you can. I like how that little bit of waterway snakes its way through. Looks cool. So we're going to head south from here and see where that leads us. Right, the trail has become a little bit more tricky to follow, but it's sort of still there. It's hard to step lightly because of all the type of vegetation you're walking on, the old crinkly bark and leaves. So every now and again you scare a wallaby out of its resting place, or kangaroos. There's a few around, they're all watching me. No, this must be their resting place because there's a few lying around. So I was watching the little Joey kangaroos jumping around. I don't know, you probably couldn't see it, but sometimes they were jumping, and when they landed, they then pivoted on their tail and turned direction, which that's pretty cool. So if I just go a little bit to my right, I'll come onto that road. Okay, let's see how we go. I'm not lost. I know where I am. I've got to make my way across that way to the road. Why don't you tell me which way to go instead of just squawking at me? So I'm on a little path, but it could be just a kangaroo path. Okay, found a little creek, a dry creek bed. Looks like the remnants of a water race. This tree is infested with termites. You can see how they've built their nest up into the dead tree. They only eat dead wood. I've come upon the road, but that's the Teddington Road. I don't know what happened to that little crossover there. That was like the creek where I was crossing. So there's Teddington Hut. Don't ask me who Mr. Teddington was, I got no idea. If I haven't mentioned already, you can stay here. You just need to book through Parks Victoria on a phone number. So, would you want to stay in here? I don't know. Reject the reset. I don't know if you can see that, it's a bit dark. But there's a fireplace there, a couple of benches. You can throw your swag on here, on the ground. Personally, not for me. Right, what do you think? Welcome in. Could be a park ranger. How you going? Do people still use it?
Yeah, occasionally.
Oh, okay.
I'm just here to do the facility and do a bit of cleaning up today, but head back and do the course. I just want to go and open a couple of roads, but well, usually we check it and see if there's any rubbish or whatever up from there.
Yeah, you do a good job anyway. I'm camped down there.
Yep.
And yeah, it's good to see the fire pits are all empty and that, so sometimes you go to places.
They're looking all right down there, are they?
Oh, the ones that I'm not using one, but yeah, the ones around me seem all fine.
Well,
so
sometimes they're all filled up.
I know.
Yeah.
I don't like that. So.
All right, well, anyway, mate, enjoy your stay.
Yeah, thanks. Shower and toilet. Hello, no one in here? Oh. and a bird's nest. Now shower, yeah, you could set your own shower up, I suppose. Pretty clean. So people obviously coming here just to camp like those people did there. It's got a big table, fireplace. So you can throw a swag down. Water that you can't drink. You probably wouldn't want it. Anyway, that's Teddington Hut. So what do you think of that? Would you stay here? So I'm back at the campground. This is the southern entrance that I've come in. It's only a 20-minute walk from here to the Teddington Hut. See, if I had a hammock, I'd set it up between a pair of these trees and enjoy this morning sunshine with a snooze. And when the weather is good, it's just, you feel that, you know, that dreamy, sleepy sort of feel that you just want to have a snooze. That's how I'm feeling right now. There's a little bit of wind blowing, a little bit of dust every now and again, but that's not too bad. The sun's nice. It hasn't got a bite to it. It's really nice. It's pleasant. Surprisingly, I'm getting enough 4G that I can get a bit of a signal. I can watch an Instagram reel. So it's better than I thought it was going to be, actually. But these flies, you know, it's still only springtime. I kept putting the repellent on every 5 minutes. I don't think it works. I think it's like a drug to them. They get addicted, they love it. It's not a repellent at all, it's an attractant. I was going along the Gap Road so I could go up to the West of England Fire Tower lookout picnic area. When you come up to the Centre Road intersection, you get the four-wheel drive only sign. I was only taking it slow. Two-wheel drive, you can do it. It was nothing really hard, just got to be sensible. So I'm not sure how bad this four-wheel drive track is. I know it goes up a hill a bit, so it could be tricky. Maybe I could just have a peek and see what it's like. Maybe in wet weather it's a no-no, but maybe during dry weather it's not too bad. I can't even see where the road's supposed to go. I know there's a road that way, but I thought it had to go up that way. I'll have a quick look anyway. It's a shame to miss out. Well, only about 25 metres further on, the road became visible, and here it is. It's a little track and another sign. So I'm definitely not going to push my luck and go up there. Unfortunately, I didn't bring my bicycle. I don't know what that means, whether you shouldn't take your bike or it's okay to take it. Why is it a red circle with a black arrow? I don't know. I don't know what that means. So that's a bit unfortunate. So this wind's a bit of a pain in the arse, especially when it blows hard enough to blow a bit of dust off the tracks into your face. And these flies, I'm so glad I got this net. Tonight, when I cook dinner, I'm going to wait till it gets dark. I'll probably be a bit more hungrier then. So I'm going to wait till it gets dark and the flies will be gone. I cooked a bit too early and I couldn't believe like there's normal little flies, they're the bothersome ones. But when I cooked, blowflies came out of nowhere. If you're interested in a quick look at this one, stick around. I mentioned the Melville Caves on my James Reserve camping video when I was climbing up through some rocks, and it reminded me of this place here. I'm not going to look at the caves today, I'll let you explore it. So the road up here was pretty easy. There's people here with caravans, so you can tow a van up, no worries. There's a picnic ground at the bottom. From there you can walk up to the caves, and this is the top. There's a lookout from up here. Now there is a campground here, as you saw me drive through it and have a quick look around. There's fire pits, there's toilets. And you might have noticed the ground is pretty hard there, so I don't know how you'd go with pitching a tent. Banging pegs in might be pretty bloody hard. If you like boulders and rocks and hills and walks, I'm sure there's plenty of wildlife around here as well. Yeah, it's a good place to come to. Maybe I will go have a quick look. What'd you think?
Oh, it's all right.
Pretty good?
Nice view.
Have a look at these boulders. You know me and rocks, I love them. They just look fantastic, don't they? Perched in different precarious positions. So the lookout's not very far, it's only a short walk, and a good view it is. And that way you go off to the caves. Don't jump!
No, my partner's climbing. Enjoying your day so far?
Yeah, I've just come back from camping.
Oh, lovely.
And got these people enjoying their time here. Go at them. Doing it easy.
Very much so. He's done it already.
You a bit of a climber?
Just a little.
Bit of a parkour person?
No, I'm just young and stupid.
Yes, there's a whole cave system in there you can explore and have a look around. So I hope you enjoyed that quick look at the Kooyoora State Park campground and the Melville Caves lookout. So thanks for staying with me for this little quick sneak peek, and I'll catch you next time. Happy camping.